He was the single most successful investor of the 20th Century Time magazine, named him one of the most influential people in the world. He's worth over $70 billion. He's Warren Buffett, and here are his top 10 rules for success. How can other people tap dance to work? What's the secret of them? Find your passion. You find your passion. I was very, very lucky to find it. When I was 7 or 8 years old, and fortunately my children have found their passion. One son loves farming like nothing else. One son loves music like everything else, and all three of them love philanthropy and what they get to do. You're lucky in life when you find it, and you can't guarantee you're going to find it your first job out. But I always told college students that, come on, I said, take the job that you would take if you were independently wealthy. You're going to do well at it. If you think you're going to be a lot happier if you've got to X instead of X, you're probably making a mistake. Guys in the auto, you ought to find something you like that works with that. And you'll get in trouble if you think that making 10 extra 20x is the answer to everything in life, because then you will do things like borrow money when you should endure, or maybe cut corners on things that your boy wants you to cut corners on ER. It just doesn't make any sense. You won't like it when you look back on and half free things and hiring people. Look for integrity, intelligence, and energy. And he said if that person didn't have the first two, that the latter two would kill them, because if they don't have integrity, you want a dumb and lazy. You don't want them smart and energetic. It never bothered me if people disagreed with what I thought, as long as I thought I knew the facts. There's a whole bunch of things I don't know, think about. I just stay away from those. So I stay within what I call my circle of competence. That Tom Watson said it best. He said, I'm no genius, but I'm smart in spots. And I stay around those spots. Well, I try and stay around those spots. And I just don't have a problem if somebody says, you're wrong on something. I just go back and look at the facts. And I think that really is much more important, frankly, than having a few points of IQ or having an extra course or two in school or anything of the sort. You need emotional stability. I just read and read and read. I probably read 5 to 6 hours a day. I don't read as fast now as when I was younger, but I read 5 daily newspapers. I read a fair number of magazines. I read 10Ks. I read annual reports, and I read a lot of other things to this. I've always enjoyed reading. I love reading biographies. Famous lesson about a margin of safety: that you don't drive a truck that weighs 9,900 pounds across a bridge that says limit 10,000 pounds, because you can't be that sure about it. If you see something like that, you go down a little further down the road and you find whether it says limit 20,000 pounds. And that's the one you drive across. The nature of capitalism is that people want to come in and take your capsules. Perfectly understandable. If I'm solving television sets or something, there's going to be 10 other people who are going to try and sell a better television set. If I have a restaurant here in Omaha, people are going to try and copy my menu and get more parking and take my chef and so on. So capitalism is all about somebody coming and trying to take the castle. Now, what you need a castle that has some durable competitive advantage, some castle that has a moat around, and that moat, that's one of the best moats in many respects, is to be a low-cost producer. But sometimes the motor's just having more talent. If you're the heavyweight champion of the world and keep knocking out people, you've got a competitive advantage as long as you can keep doing it. And it's very profitable if you're the one that happens to be able to do it, if you can turn out great motion pictures. Steven Spielberg, he's a fella bent on, and it has an enormous economic value. You'd be surprised at my days. They're very unstructured. No meetings, none. I don't like meetings, and I read a lot. I wish I were a faster leader. I get more done, but I do read a lot, and I'm on the phone a moderate amount. Our businesses run themselves basically out there. My job is allocating capital, and that's what I'm thinking about. But I don't like to have things all packed hour and hour and hour. And though I are both extraordinarily lucky, we really get to do what we like to do the way we want to do it with people that we choose to be around. Then they're terrific. We've really got everything our way, and we're very fortunate. And in his world, he has a different kind of pace than I have. But we both love it the way we do it, and my guess is that we're each the most productive in that particular mode too, because it fits our personalities and aptitudes. What kills great businesses? If you look at, I do believe in looking at history, and I like to study failure actually. And my partner says all I want to know is where I'll die, so I'll never go there. And we want to see what has caused businesses to go bad, and the biggest thing that kills them, it's complacency. You want a restlessness, a feeling that that somebody's always after you, but you're going to stay ahead of them. You always want to be on the move. And when you've got a great business, you know, like Coca-Cola wishes there aren't any like, oh girl, but really the danger would always be the you rest on your laurels. But I see none of that obviously at Coca-Cola, but that is the key to compete the same way when you've got one. 8 billion servings being sold daily, as when you were selling, you know, 10 a day, and that restlessness, that belief that tomorrow's more exciting than today. You know, you just have to have it permeate the organization. Who was Ben Graham? He was your primary mentor model. It was a wonderful man, and he was my professor at Columbia. I read his book when I was 19 at the University of Nebraska, and I'd started investing when I was 11. I started reading about it when I was like 7. So I'd gone through I read every book in the Omaha Public Library that was on by the time I was 12 on investing in stock market. And I had a lot of fun, but I never really found out, never got grounded anything. And it was entertaining, but it wasn't going to be profitable.